In the west-central part of Europe, nestled between the countries of Switzerland, Germany, and Austria, this is Lake Constance, one of the largest freshwater lakes in Central Europe. With a total surface area of roughly 539 square kilometers, Lake Constance is the third largest freshwater lake in Central Europe by surface area, after Lake Geneva and Lake Balaton, and the second largest by water volume after Lake Geneva. The lake stretches roughly 63 kilometers in length, and reaches up to 14 kilometers at its widest point, with an average width of around 8 kilometers. The shorelines of Lake Constance are shared by the German states of Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, the Swiss cantons of St. Gallen and Thurgau, and the Austrian state of Vorarlberg. Lake Constance is not a single continuous body of water, but rather a hydrological system composed of interconnected lake basins, linked by the Rhine River, each with its own name and character. The largest section is the Upper Lake Constance, covering about 476 square kilometers. It extends from Bregenz in Austria in the east, to Bodman-Ludwigshafen in Germany in the northwest. This section is deep and expansive, with the Alps rising dramatically to the south. The Seer Hain, a short 4-kilometer stretch of the Rhine River, flows out of the upper lake and connects it with the lower Lake Constance. This part of the lake is smaller and shallower, covering around 63 square kilometers, and is separated from the upper lake by the Bodenrook Peninsula. Together, the upper Lake Constance, Seer Hain, and lower Lake Constance form what is collectively known as Lake Constance, or Bodensee in German, with a total surface area of about 539 square kilometers. Hydrologically, Lake Constance has a vast catchment area of about 11,500 square kilometers, stretching across Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Liechtenstein, and even parts of northern Italy. The lake's main inflow and outflow is the Rhine River, one of Europe's largest rivers. Originating in the Swiss Alps, the Rhine flows into Lake Constance from the southeast near Bregenz, as the Alpine Rhine, and then passes through the lake. After crossing the lake, the Rhine exits at the western end near Stein am Rhein, continuing its journey through Switzerland, Germany, and the Netherlands, before emptying into the North Sea. The Rhine contributes more than two-thirds of the total inflow of Lake Constance. While the Rhine is the dominant inflow, several smaller rivers and streams also feed into Lake Constance. These include the Bregenzer Ach, Argen, Schussen, Rotach, and Radolfzeller Ach. One of the most unusual things about Lake Constance is that, unlike most transboundary lakes in Europe, it does not have a single, internationally recognized boundary line through its waters, which are shared by Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. This lack of a formally defined international boundary stems from a historical absence of agreement among the three nations. Austria asserts that the lake is a shared body of water, jointly owned by all bordering states. Switzerland maintains that the border runs through the middle of the lake, and Germany has never taken an official position. As a result, Lake Constance is considered a condominium, a territory jointly administered by multiple countries. The shoreline of Lake Constance is approximately 273 kilometers long, of which 173 kilometers lie within Germany, 28 kilometers within Austria, and 72 kilometers within Switzerland. As international borders are not defined, disputes and crimes on Lake Constance are handled through a combination of national jurisdiction and international cooperation. Generally, water areas less than 25 meters deep are regarded as belonging to the respective coastal country, while areas beyond the 25-meter isobath are not assigned to any nation. Consequently, all administrative and legal matters, such as navigation, fishing rights, and environmental protection, are handled through cooperative agreements rather than strict territorial divisions. The shores of Lake Constance are home to many scenic and historic cities shared by Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Major German towns include Constance, Rodolfzell, Oberlingen, Meersburg, Friedrichshafen, and Lindau. On the Swiss side are Stein am Rhein, Kreuzlingen, Romanshorn, Arben, and Rorschach, while Bregenz is the main Austrian city. Together, they form a culturally rich and picturesque region surrounding the lake.